You are eligible for a reseller permit if you report retail sales, wholesale sales, or manufacturing activities on your excise tax return. If you are a contractor, 25% of the materials and contract labor you've purchased must be for retail or wholesale construction. If you only purchase goods for resale from time to time, it may make more sense for you to take advantage of one of two other options. You can also take advantage of these options if you aren't issued a reseller permit and you make qualified purchases. First, you can take a tax paid at source deduction on your tax return. With this option, you will pay sales tax when you make your purchase, but then deduct that amount from the taxes you owe when you file your return. Or you can request a refund. Like the deduction, you will pay sales tax when you make your purchase, but we will give that money back to you for qualified purchases. You can find instructions for how to take the deduction and how to request a refund in the Resources for Buyers tab below this video. To apply for a reseller permit, you must submit an application to the Department of Revenue. To get an application, you can download and print one from our website, call 1-800-647-7706, or pick one up at one of our local offices across the state. You'll just need to supply some basic information on your application. You will need to describe your business activity and identify the types of materials or products you plan to purchase with your reseller permit. If you are a contractor, you will need to provide some additional information. You will need to list the total amount of all materials and contract labor you've purchased during the last 12 months for retail and wholesale construction activity, public road construction, speculative building, and U.S. government contracting. You will also need to list what percentage of this total was for retail and wholesale construction activity. If you have not been in business for the past 12 months, you must estimate these figures for the next 12 months. Once you submit your application, we will review it and give you a decision. We may consider factors such as your reporting status and the amount of retailing, wholesaling, or manufacturing you do. Responding to you quickly is a top priority. We promise to let you know if your application has been approved or denied as soon as we can. It could take up to 60 days, but in most cases, we'll reply by mail within about 2 weeks. If you registered your business with the department after January 1st, 2009, your initial permit is valid for 2 years. After that, it will be renewed for 4-year periods. All other permits, for businesses other than contractors, will be valid for 4 years. If you are a contractor, your permit is valid for 1 year. You will need to apply for renewal every year. You can use a reseller permit to buy items for resale that you do not use before reselling them, and items used as ingredients in, or parts of, a new item that will be sold. You should not use a reseller permit to buy items you use or consume as part of your business. Let's go over some specific examples of what a reseller permit should and should not be used for. John is getting ready to open John's Bistro. He's making a number of purchases for his new restaurant. John can use his reseller permit to buy the following items for use in his restaurant without paying sales tax: meal ingredients, liquor, beer, and wine, soft drinks, paper or plastic plates, cups, lids, and utensils, paper napkins and straws, and to-go food containers. John can use his reseller permit for these items because they are part of the end product his restaurant sells. John should not use his reseller permit to buy chairs, tables, decor, or other furnishings, dishes, silverware, or serving trays, guest checks, janitorial or office supplies, pest control, tap cleaning, vending machines, neither purchase nor rental, equipment like ovens, grills, and coffee makers, or repair parts or labor. John should not use his reseller permit for these items because they will be used or consumed by John's Bistro. They are not part of the end product sold by the business. Sargent's Painters performs retail indoor painting for customers. They want to know what kinds of materials they can use their reseller permit for. A painter can use the reseller permit to purchase, without paying sales tax, materials that will become a permanent part of the completed project. This includes items such as paint, primer, and spackle. A painter should not use a reseller permit to purchase tools such as screwdrivers, knives, brushes, or rollers. Equipment, whether rented or purchased, this includes ladders, pressure washers, and power sanders. Or materials the painter uses or consumes while providing the service. This includes tape, drop cloths, plastic covers, and sandpaper. Again, these items will not become a permanent part of the completed project, so Sargent's Painters should not purchase them with a reseller permit. Mr. Smith buys a new lot and wants to build a home on it. He hires Sarah's Custom Residential Construction to build his house. When Sarah purchases building materials for Mr. Smith's home, she can use a reseller permit for items that will be permanently incorporated into the final project. This includes lumber, windows, insulation, light fixtures, and carpet. Sarah's Custom Residential Construction can also use its reseller permit for purchases of subcontractor services without paying retail sales tax. This includes services like plumbing, electrical, and flooring. They should not use their reseller permit for materials used or consumed during construction. This includes tools and equipment, whether it's rented or purchased. There is an important difference to note between custom construction, which is what Sarah is conducting in this example, and speculative construction. If Sarah didn't have a customer and was working on a speculative building project, she would not be able to use her reseller permit for any of the purchases in the example, even items that become part of the end product. She would have to pay sales tax for all items. You will receive one reseller permit from the department. Make copies to give to each seller or service provider you make purchases for resale from. For example, if you purchase goods for resale from Andy's Hardware Store, Jane's Lumber Yard, Johnson Paint Company, and Rainy Day Plumbers, you need to make copies of your reseller permit for each of these businesses to keep on file. You can provide electronic or paper copies of your reseller permit. Keep your original until it expires. Remember, on January 1st, resale certificates are no longer valid. So even if you have a resale certificate on file with a merchant, you should give them a copy of your new reseller permit to continue making purchases for resale without paying sales tax. If you don't, they will need to charge you sales tax.